You need to compete. You need to actually compete. Set yourself up to compete. And a bunch of you guys are just losers. You're extremely just like bottom line losers. Don't do anything. You run away from competition. Look at that as something so bad. And society has raised us to accept just second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place. We're all winners. That's what they tell you. But no, you need to compete. Stop being a loser and compete. And I woke up this morning with just like this great anger, just extreme anger for, not being the best competitor. Not being the best competitor. And life it happens in such a way that where it's random, right? You start off on a random plane. Not everybody has the same playing field, but it's random. You're given life. And you have to use the things that you have to set yourself up to be the best competitor. You need to compete. What happens when you don't compete is a very, sad case. It's a very sad case when you don't compete. Because those who don't compete, you often see that they sit on the sidelines and they watch you compete. They watch you do these great things. They watch you accomplish stuff. And most of us decide to say, okay, I'm fine with just sitting on the sidelines. But wake up in the morning, be angry, and say, man, I need to be there on the court competing. I need to put my hands into this competition, into this game of life. With everything, with every game, or whatever that you're doing, that there's competition in, and there's competition in everything because such is life. There's always levels. There will always be levels. You'll have a level 1, 2, 3, 4, intermediate, experienced, amateur, or pro. There's levels. And at each level, there's different scopes. It looks different at each level. I remember when I first started playing pickleball, I was invited and I started playing and I was just completely horrible. And the people that I was playing with, lucky enough, they were horrible as well. But at that time, I thought they were just insanely good, just great. And my mind was being blown. They were doing a little curveballs, etc. But as I kept playing and progressing and started competing, I outgrew them. And the people that I was hanging around with originally, I moved over to a higher level of competition. And that's what it is that there will always be different levels of competition. So even those who are sideline watchers, they're on a low level of competition. They don't have to compete for much. They don't have to, they settle down. But you need to compete. And as you start competing, find your level. Not everybody can reach the same level. Not everyone can go pro. But compete. And you can only gain the things that you want by competing. It'll never just be given to you. Nature doesn't reward those who just desire, who just want. Because desire and want is not enough to fulfill the full equation to have access to acquire. You need desire, drive, and work ethic. You need to be a competitor. And I realized this when I look at the lion, right? Let's talk about like the lion and females, the lion and the lioness. In every pride, there is a dominant male. In every lion pride, there is a dominant male. And there's only one dominant male. And that dominant male didn't get there by being, the best looking, or, he has a lot of potential, or, this, that. No, the dominant male got there by being the best competitor. He was the most brutal, the most cruel. He knew how to fight. And so all the other people that was within that circle, all the other males that were within that circle, he bested them. He was a worthy competitor. And so the rest of the lionesses that were inside that presence saw him as the most worthy competitor, and they, opened their arms to him. And lionesses choose the one that is the most capable. They choose the one that is the most cruel, the most, dominant. And you realize that is that Mother Nature does the same. Mother Nature doesn't choose the one just for desire. She chooses the one that is dominant, the one that is cruel. So you might be at a level that, you come from a neighborhood and there's not a lot of people that, get out of that situation. But even if you're inside such a society, or you're inside such a city, you should be the most dominant there. You should be the best competitor that there is out there. So whatever level that you're playing at, aim to be the best competitor. Aim to be the most dominant. Because at that stage, everything is at your axis. Everything is at your axis. So understand that. You need to compete. It's like, you see a pretty girl and she'll say she works at McDonald's or Publix, and you look at her and she'd be like, oh man, she is just extremely beautiful. And you think that's like the best. And in your mind, that's the best. And somebody from out of town who, comes from a greater experience than you would see that same, young lady, and he'd be like, man, she's a 6. She's a 6 at best. And you look at him and be like, what? What do you mean she's a 6? And he'll say, man, where I'm from, the girls over there, they're just insane, And on top of that, there are women who have actually accomplished stuff, women who are smart, and they got their own things going on. And so to you, because you're on level 1 or level 2, you're thinking, man, this is the top of the line. That girl that I got, she's like super pretty and she work at Publix, man, this is the top of the line. But the guy who's, sitting at level 4 and level 5, he's looking at him and be like, yo, man, I know if I pulled up in my BMW, this ain't nothing. But he might be, a base level competitor at his level 4 and 5. He ain't really competing with the jokers that are on level 4 and 5. But when he gets to level 1 and 2, man. But that's the reality of things, right? Is that there will always be multiple scales of levels to compete. And even as the higher you get, even if you're the worst player there, if you go on a level that is easier, you're the most dominant player that there is. So you need to compete. Wake up in the morning and compete. Fight. Because there's other dudes that are the same age as you. There's other dudes that are younger than you who are going out there and competing and getting things done to play at the highest level that they can. So play at the highest level.